Ready? Start. Speaking in the Lok Sabha during a discussion regarding the demand for waiver of agricultural loans, an honorable member said, Mr. Speaker, sir, the point that we are discussing today is mainly about rural indebtedness. In this connection, I would like to make some suggestions about how to improve the credit facilities in the countryside. There must be decentralization of the credit system for agricultural purposes. I suggest that every panchayat may be given the status of a primary credit society with full banking support in the countryside. Everybody should have access to his own bank, namely his own panchayat. So, one important factor that I want the finance minister to look into is that the system of credit for agricultural purposes may be decentralized, and in that panchayats must play a role. My second suggestion is this: the harsh method of recovering debts must be stopped, and it must be replaced by social pressure. Now we try to action the property of a farmer to recover debt. If there is misery in the villages, how much capital can we really get back? We only make the people run away from the villages. It is happening in the rural areas. So we must stop this harsh method for collecting loans and make the farmer responsible before the panchayat. I am sure that social pressure will do the trick which the harsh method will not. My third suggestion is this: land revenue up to a certain level must be waived. In the case of small farmers, it is similar to the case of income tax. I think the finance minister will appreciate this point. He will not be able to meet the administrative cost to collect income tax below a certain point, and it will not be economical. In the same way, land revenue below a certain point should be abolished, and above that point, land revenue should be collected by panchayats only. In fact, the development outlay of panchayats must be related to land revenue that they collect. In that case, we will ensure the collection of land revenue from the bigger farmers in that panchayat, and at the same time we will be just in the distribution of the development outlays. So I would like that this suggestion of waiver may be considered. Fourthly, there is a collection season. As far as I know, the government start collection at a time when the farmer is in difficulty. Letter dated the manager Varuna and Company, Lucknow, to Mrs. Batmanabha and Company, Pobal. Dear sirs, I am inform you that I brought your letter before the board of directors at their meeting yesterday. But after some discussion, they were obliged to postpone further consideration of the matter until the next meeting of the directors, which will be held towards the end of this month. In this connection, I think the directors will be glad if you set forth your proposals more fully than you have done in your letter. I have to point out that the first cost of the material is very low, but at the same time, the question of the additional cost of preparing it for sales and the additional expenditure which will have to be incurred in advertising it will be taken into consideration by the directors. In the circumstances, if you give your estimate of the total expenditure that will have to be incurred for this purpose, it will certainly help them in coming to a decision. If you make an appointment for some day next week, yours faithfully,